Lesson 50. Let's begin with our first word, avert. A useful phrase to remember is avert her eyes. To avert means to turn away or to prevent something from happening. If a person sees something scary, they might avert their eyes to avoid looking at it. A doctor might give advice to help avert serious health problems. The phrase avert her eyes is used when talking about someone turning away their gaze to avoid seeing something unpleasant. Now let's look at crisis. A helpful phrase for this word is natural crisis. A crisis is a dangerous or difficult situation. A natural crisis, such as an earthquake or hurricane, can cause serious damage. A financial crisis happens when the economy is in trouble. The phrase natural crisis is used when talking about disasters like floods, wildfires, or other dangerous natural events. Next, we have excess. A good phrase to remember is excess fat. If something is excess, it is extra or more than what is needed. Eating too much junk food can lead to excess fat in the body. If a student writes a very long essay, a teacher might ask them to remove the excess information. The phrase excess fat is used when talking about extra body weight that is not needed for health. Let's move on to habitat. An example phrase is the animal's natural habitat. A habitat is the place where an animal or plant naturally lives. A fish's habitat is the ocean, while a monkey's habitat is the jungle. Destroying a habitat can make it difficult for animals to survive. The phrase, the animal's natural habitat, is used when talking about the environment where an animal lives and thrives. Now, let's talk about intermediate. A useful phrase is intermediate reading class. If something is intermediate, it is in the middle, between beginner and advanced. An intermediate reading class is for students who are no longer beginners, but are not yet experts. A person with intermediate cooking skills knows more than just the basics but is not a professional chef. The phrase intermediate reading class is used when talking about a class designed for students at a middle level of learning. Next, we have memorable. A great phrase for this word is memorable vacation. If something is memorable, it is special or worth remembering. A memorable vacation is one that was exciting and enjoyable. A memorable speech is one that people continue to talk about because it was meaningful. The phrase memorable vacation is used when describing a trip that was fun, exciting, or unique enough to be remembered for a long time. Let's move on to opposition. An important phrase to remember is, he's in opposition to the law. Opposition refers to disagreement or resistance against something. A person in opposition to a law believes it is wrong and wants to change it. In sports, the opposing team is the one you are playing against. The phrase, he's in opposition to the law, is used when talking about someone who disagrees with a rule or law and wants to challenge it. Now, let's discuss prompt. A phrase to associate with this word is essay prompt. To prompt means to cause something to happen, and as a noun, it can mean a question or instruction that encourages a response. An essay prompt is a question or statement that helps students know what to write about. If a fire alarm goes off, it prompts people to leave the building quickly. The phrase essay prompt is used when talking about a topic or question that guides writing. Next, we have stationery. A useful phrase is stationery store. Stationery refers to writing materials such as paper, envelopes, and pens. A stationery store sells notebooks, greeting cards, and office supplies. People use stationery to write letters and take notes. The phrase stationery store is used when talking about a shop that sells paper and writing materials. Finally, let's talk about velocity. A helpful phrase is velocity of light. Velocity is the speed at which something moves. A race car has high velocity because it moves very fast. Scientists study the velocity of light, which is the fastest speed in the universe. The phrase velocity of light is used when talking about the speed at which light travels, which is extremely fast. That's the end of Lesson 50. Keep practicing these words and phrases to build your vocabulary and confidence.